From WXII 12 News, this is breaking news.
Breaking news first at 6 in Greensboro, where police are looking into an officer-involved shooting on Business 85.
This investigation is now shutting down the northbound lanes right before Interstate 40.
Kirsten Gutierrez is live at the scene. The police chief just spoke moments ago. Kirsten, what have we learned about all this?
Yes, we just finished wrapping up that conversation with Chief Wayne Scott. It's still a very active scene here. We'll show you what's going on here on Business 85 North. Now, Chief Wayne Scott says it all started around 3:30 this afternoon when the traffic safety unit saw a gray pickup truck speeding. The officers attempted to stop the truck, but the truck did not stop. Instead, it sped up. Scott says it looks like the truck went off the roadway twice and then crashed into a grassy area. The officer got out to check on the truck driver and says that the driver had a handgun and began shooting at the officer. Now that officer shot back and hit the suspect more than once. A second officer was on the scene and was able to disarm the suspect and arrest him. Now the chief says the suspect was transported to the hospital and is in serious but stable condition.
So at this point in time, that's part of our investigative process as to what caused what damage where. We do know the vehicle was involved in it. Honestly, two crashes prior to that. You know, it left the roadway, so it's a matter of us determining what was caused by a crash, what was caused by the final crash, what was caused by the actual critical incident.
And now he's talking about those bullet holes in the truck. He's trying to see if what was caused this whole incident in the first place. Now, Chief Scott said it is still early in the investigation and both officers involved are on administrative leave until the investigation is complete. Now, Business 85 North near exit 222 is closed right now, and they're urging that drivers use alternate routes while they finish up this investigation. Live in Greensboro, Kirsten Gutierrez, WXII 12 News.
Kirsten, thank you. Also following breaking news out of Winston-Salem.
That is where new charges in a triple shooting that left one person dead and 2 people injured have since been filed. Police say that Chavez Brown met Daniel Miller for a drug deal on Peachtree Street. When Brown arrived, he was confronted by 2 men who allegedly tried to rob him. Shots were fired and all 3 men, Brown, Jones, and Harris, were hurt. Everyone then reportedly took off. Officers later found Jones, Harris, and Miller in a broken down vehicle on I-40 West at the Haynes Mall Boulevard exit. Jones was taken to the hospital where he later died. Brown and Harris are both out of the hospital tonight. Miller was arrested and charged with assault with a deadly weapon and aiding and abetting. Harris is now charged with robbery with a dangerous weapon, possession of a stolen firearm, and assault with a deadly weapon inflicting serious injury.
Back to Greensboro now. It's been almost a week since a mother of 5 there was found shot to death inside her car.
Greensboro police tell us that they found 25-year-old Desiree Hall Thursday morning at Hampton Park on Four Seasons Boulevard. Police are still searching for a suspect.
Kirsten Gutierrez sat down with the victim's eldest sister, who wants her and her family to get some answers. And the most important one at this hour, why would someone do this to their loved one?
Just having so many plans. Like they took my little sister away.
From planning for the holidays to planning a funeral, Deja Wilson never thought she'd bury her little sister.
I feel like I was supposed to protect my brother and sisters. This ain't supposed to happen.
Greensboro police responded to a suspicious call Thursday morning at Hampton Park. When they arrived, they found Desiree Hall dead from a gunshot wound inside her car. Police still have no suspects.
Why? Just why? What happened that night, like, and for the most part, turn yourself in, definitely.
Unanswered questions lingering for the family as Desiree's sudden death leaves 5 children ranging from the age of 9 to 1-year-old without a mother.
And I feel like the 1-year-old would never know her or never remember her. And that really hurt the most.
Deja says the last conversation she had with her sister is one she'll never forget.
And I guess I told her some joke, and she was just walking out laughing and smiling. Like, okay, Deja, I'm gonna see you. So crazy. And her face just keeps so clear. I can see it.
Keeping that image fresh in her mind as she hopes she's in heaven with the father Desiree lost years ago.
I know she always talked about her daddy. So like, my daddy, my daddy, my daddy. So in the back of my head, it's not trying to come clear, but it's like she's happy because she's with her daddy. It's like she's a free soul.
That was Kirsten Gutierrez reporting for us there. In Winston-Salem, investigators tonight say a murder suspect from early March of this year is now in custody. Robbie Smith being held without bond tonight. Officers say he is charged in Daniel Souther's death. Back in March, police say Smith assaulted Souther at the Budget Inn on Peters Creek Parkway. Medical examiner ended up ruling Souther's death a short time later a homicide. Investigators arrested Smith today at the Travelers Inn in Winston-Salem.
A Lexington man is facing charges tonight after turning himself in for a Greensboro hit and run where police say Anthony Sim was the driver of the vehicle in that hit and run crash. It happened around 2:15 Saturday morning on Westgate City Boulevard. Sim turned himself in yesterday after multiple Crime Stopper tips came in. He now faces charges for a felony hit and run and driving with a revoked license. In Reedsville, a woman is now charged in an accident with a school bus with students on board. Officers were called to Northup Street around 8 o'clock this morning, where investigators tell us a vehicle driven by Ann Simlin had crashed into the back of a stopped school bus. No one was injured. She now faces charges including driving with a revoked license, failure to reduce speed, and failure to stop for a school bus.
An investigation into the way the Atlantic Coast Pipeline permitting process was conducted concludes that the governor, Roy Cooper, improperly used his authority and influence. The governor denies these findings. He says the facts are on his side. Bill O'Neill is in Raleigh now with the story.
Private investigators hired by Republicans say that while the governor did not personally benefit, he used his office to obtain millions of dollars in concessions from Duke Energy and its partners. The investigation finds, quote, Cooper improperly used the authority and influence of his office to cause the ACP partnership, the Atlantic Coast Pipeline, to commit $55 million, a mitigation fund that the governor placed under his complete control, and that Cooper used the influence and authority of his office to pressure parties to enter into an agreement that favored the solar industry at the cost of $100 million to ratepayers of North Carolina.
That the facts are on our side.
Governor Cooper dismissed the findings while admitting he has not read the 82-page report.
For almost 2 years, this has been a partisan political circus, and it is still a partisan political circus. That's exactly what it is.
The Atlantic Coast Pipeline is a $7.5 billion project that's supposed to deliver natural gas from West Virginia to North Carolina. Duke Energy needed a water permit to begin the North Carolina leg of the project. Republicans accused the governor of holding up the water permit while extracting concessions from Duke and its partners. The investigation concludes the governor had final say on the water permit, not the Department of Environmental Quality. Today, the governor denied that.
That's not true. Absolutely did not happen. And I'll tell you this, the facts are on our side. I haven't read the report, but our staff will respond to it.
By the way, this 600-mile natural gas pipeline that's supposed to run from West Virginia to North Carolina is currently stalled by challenges in federal court. In Raleigh, I'm Bill O'Neill, WXII 12 News.
Thank you, Bill. State lawmakers held a hearing on the investigations of this final report just a short time ago. Senate leader and Republican Phil Berger says they'll consider the findings and determine what action, if any, they will take next. Happening now in our nation's capital, the impeachment inquiry continues.
The ambassador to the European Union testified this morning and for the first time publicly talked about his involvement with a phone call including President Donald Trump.
You can watch the continuing inquiry right now on the WXII 12 Facebook page. 2 more people testifying as we speak.
In addition to that, you can also catch more about the impeachment inquiry and today's testimonies tonight on NBC Nightly News coming up at 6:30.
Back in the Piedmont, town leaders in Elkin and state transportation leaders say some of the downtown congestion issues there should clear up, they hope, during the holidays.
It's been a really big talker. They also ask everyone to be patient over the next couple of years because they say extra delays through downtown Elkin will be worth it in the long run.
Steve King joins us now from Bridge Street in Elkin to bring us exactly what drivers can expect in the final few weeks of 2019.
Ever since these stop signs went up in downtown Elkin, many drivers and business owners say they want to see the red lights return. Some say that it's causing too much congestion downtown. Others say it's costing them business, and some say it's a safety issue.
I don't like it, but I can understand because it has helped some with traffic. I guess the main thing is people just don't pay attention and run the stop signs, and that's always a problem.
But DOT leaders say the stop signs have reduced the number of crashes and, quote, severity of the crashes at Bridge and Main and Bridge and Market. In addition, town leaders say they've put up pedestrian signs in the road and sidewalks to make sure everyone is safe. Meanwhile, the DOT says their I-77 rehabilitation project is causing the backups, not the new stop signs. They're going to scale back construction during the holidays to ease congestion downtown, as both I-77 southbound lanes near Elkin will open back up sometime tonight, and both northbound lanes in this area will open up Monday. DOT leaders are urging people to realize that any downtown backup after the holidays is worth it, while Elkin town leaders are asking residents and business owners to be patient.
The I-77 rehabilitation project there in Yadkin County is an absolutely needed project. That concrete there is more than 50 years old. I-77 is a major north-south corridor through the state. So it brings people, it brings products, and it brings commerce.
It seems like the town has a way of supporting and rallying and making the best of a bad situation. And I feel certain that the citizens and those in the community will do the same on this with this particular instance as well.
DOT and Elkin town leaders say once the first of the year arrives, I-77 near Elkin will go back down to one lane in each direction, so congestion will pick back up at that time. Reporting in downtown Elkin, Steve King, WXII 12 News.
Thank you, Steve. After weeks of protests, a Chatham County Confederate statue is no longer standing.
Crews closed two highways that intersect at a roundabout around the statue while they removed it overnight. And by the morning, as you can see here, even the base was gone.
The monument depicts an anonymous soldier holding a rifle that touches the ground. The statue had stood outside the courthouse since 1907. It is now inside storage until a local group decides where it'll be moved.